My life was ruined, discovering my wife's affair and the shocking betrayal of my daughters. Hello guys, Sarah had just stepped into the shower, and I was idly scrolling through my phone when I saw hers light up on the nightstand. It was a habit of ours to check each other's messages. There was no reason not to. For years, I believed our marriage was built on mutual trust. We didn't have secrets. But that trust shattered the moment I read the notification. It was from an unsaved number. One glance at the message and my stomach dropped. "I can't wait to see you," followed by a kissing emoji. For a split second, I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe one of the girls, Maddie or Alice, had sent a cheeky message to their mother using a friend's phone. Maybe they were just teasing her about their weekly girls' night out. But deep down I knew. A sixth sense, or maybe just the culmination of years of suppressed doubts, told me that something was terribly wrong. I took a deep breath, unlocked her phone, and clicked on the message. There it was, an entire thread of short but intimate text between my wife and some stranger. Small talk about meeting up for dinner that evening, about how they missed each other, and how once a week wasn't enough. Each word felt like a fresh wound, each affectionate tone a stab in the back. 29 years of marriage reduced to a hollow joke in a matter of seconds. A cold numbness spread through my body, my mind reeling with disbelief. I needed confirmation, something more concrete than these stolen glances at her phone. Mechanically, as if watching myself from a distance, I pulled out my own phone and shot a quick text to both Maddie and Alice. I tried to keep it casual, asking them about the time and place for their supposed girls' dinner. My heart raced as I waited for their responses, a sick feeling of dread settling in my gut. Both girls replied almost immediately, cheerful and upbeat. "Can't wait to see Mom and catch up," said Maddie. "We're so looking forward to it, Dad," added Alice. My hands began to shake. I reread their messages over and over, praying I'd missed something, that there was some plausible explanation I hadn't thought of. But no matter how many times I read them, it only became clearer. They were lying to me. Not just Sarah. My daughters too. It felt like the ground had opened up beneath me, like I was plummeting into some dark abyss. How long had they been covering for her? How much did they know? A tidal wave of emotions threatened to crush me, but amidst the despair and heartbreak, anger began to boil. I knew I had to know the truth, and I had to know it now. So, while Sarah finished getting ready, humming softly to herself as if nothing were amiss, I did something I'm not proud of. Desperation makes you do crazy things. I picked up her phone again and discreetly turned on location sharing, linking it to mine. She didn't notice a thing, her smile still bright and warm as she kissed me on the cheek before heading out. I waited until she was out of the driveway, then grabbed my keys and followed her. The drive felt surreal. The little blinking dot that marked her location moved steadily across town, completely unaware I was watching. I tried to keep my mind blank, to prepare myself for whatever I might see, but it was impossible. Scenarios flashed through my mind, a mix of denial, hope, and that crushing fear that my suspicions would be confirmed. I pulled into the parking lot of a restaurant I recognized but couldn't quite place. Heart hammering in my chest, I parked a few rows back and waited. I don't know how long I sat there, staring at the entrance, feeling more like a stalker than a husband. Then I saw her walk inside. I squinted, searching for Maddie and Alice's familiar faces. But there were no daughters waiting with eager smiles. Instead, I saw her boss. The man I'd met at countless office functions, whose face I'd never given a second thought to. He stood up when he saw her, that grin on his face unmistakable. They embraced, laughing softly at some private joke, and then he took her hand, guiding her to a table in the corner. Everything slowed down as if time itself were mocking me. They leaned into each other, so close their foreheads almost touched. I watched, barely breathing, as Sarah, my Sarah, looked up at him with a tender smile I thought was reserved for me. They shared a kiss, right there in the middle of the restaurant. A kiss full of affection and longing. My entire body felt like it was on fire. Rage, pain, betrayal, they all warred for dominance, choking me, blinding me. In a haze, I pulled out my phone, took a series of pictures of them together, each one a snapshot of the life I thought I had shattering into pieces. I didn't think. I just acted. I opened our family group chat and sent the photos, my fingers trembling as I typed. "Glad you're enjoying girls' dinner together." Then I turned off my phone, not wanting to see their reactions. Not wanting to see any of it. I drove, the world outside blurring past me. I don't even remember the drive to my brother's house. He opened the door, took one look at me, and wordlessly pulled me inside. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. I guess the expression on my face said it all. The next morning, I turned my phone back on, and it immediately exploded with notifications. Over 40 texts and 20 voicemails, most of them from Sarah. She followed the classic cheater's playbook. She was sorry, it wasn't what it looked like, we needed to talk, she loved me, she wanted to explain. But I didn't need an explanation. I already knew everything I needed to know. My hand hovered over the keyboard. I almost texted her back, telling her I wanted a divorce right then and there. But my brother stopped me. He told me to be smart, to take my time, to meet with every reputable lawyer in town first. It made sense. If I reached out to all the best divorce attorneys, she wouldn't be able to use any of them. So I took his advice. Spent the entire day booking consultations and driving from one law office to another. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I felt hollowed out, as if all my energy, all my hope, had been sucked dry. When I finally got back to my brother's house, I sat down and scrolled through the messages I'd been avoiding. Both my daughters had texted me numerous times. Maddie, my youngest, my little girl, the one who'd always been a daddy's girl, had sent an avalanche of apologies. She was panicking, saying she'd made a terrible mistake, that she hated lying to me, that she couldn't live with herself knowing how much she'd hurt me. Her boyfriend had even reached out, asking me to call her, saying she was in a bad place and he didn't know what to do. I took a deep breath and replied, "Maddie, I love you, but what you've done has hurt me deeply. I need space." Her response came almost immediately. "Okay, I'm so sorry. I never should have helped. I'll never forgive myself. I love you too. It should have made me feel better. But it didn't." Alice, my oldest, had a different approach. She was more measured, more calculated. She apologized but said I shouldn't throw away a good marriage over one mistake. One mistake? One mistake was forgetting our anniversary or burning dinner, not covering up an affair. I felt a surge of rage and quickly fired back. "Alice, this isn't a mistake. This is a betrayal. From my entire family. Please don't reach out until I contact you first." No response from Alice. But I know she went straight to Sarah because, a few hours later, Sarah texted me, pleading with me not to blame Alice, that she was just trying to help. That was it for me. I decided right then that I'd only speak to Sarah through my lawyer. It's been 5 days since my life unraveled. I'm still at my brother's, just trying to get through each day. Each morning, I wake up hoping it's all a nightmare, but the reality hits me like a sledgehammer. I can barely eat or sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see Sarah's face, then Maddie's tear-streaked cheeks, and Alice's cold, defiant stare. The betrayal isn't just Sarah's. It's theirs too. I can't get past that. My own daughters, my flesh and blood, looked me in the eye and lied. They chose her over me. It's a betrayal I never saw coming and one I don't know if I can ever forgive. Alice's wedding is this fall. I've been paying for almost everything, excited to see her walk down the aisle, proud to be the one to give her away. Now, I don't even know if I can go. How can I stand there and celebrate her happiness when mine has been destroyed? How can I pretend to be happy for her when she was part of the conspiracy that shattered my world? I'm lost. Adrift in a sea of grief and anger, with no idea how to move forward. Every day feels like a battle against this crushing sense of emptiness. My family, my home, my sanctuary, it's all gone. And I don't know if I'll ever be whole again.